Hello class, my name is Ethan Jeffords. Today I am here to deliver you my informative speech over the difference between residential and commercial construction. Today I am here with my mother, my aunt, and my father. They will be my audience today for when I deliver my speech. When most people hear the term construction, they think about putting bricks on a house, putting a roof on a house. They mainly think about the act of residential construction, but there's a lot more than that. In construction, there are two different fields. There's commercial construction and there's residential construction. Today, I'm here to deliver you the difference between residential and commercial construction. Today, I will be delivering this speech in order to tell you the difference about these two and how you could potentially lead to gaining a career in either one of these fields, or giving yourself the ability to tell others why these two are different, how they differ, and why it is important. For my first topic, residential construction. Residential construction is labeled as multi-story housing, smaller builds, smaller funds. When you think about residential construction, you are building it for someone else for a certain reason, for them to live in, for them to take this house, take this property, take this land, and build it up into a smaller scale, smaller budget work. Commercial construction is the art of building hospitals. It's the art of building schools, hospitals, airports, transportation, anything that can be used for a community, for a city, and it has a lot larger of a scale, a lot larger of a budget. Into these different types of construction in residential, you mainly have your different smaller trades that only need one or two workers to go out there and do your job for you for that job. When you go over to commercial, you can get to job sites that have 200, 300, 400 employees that have a management chain of 20 people, compared to a residential chain where there's a one, maybe two above you. So there's a lot more jobs that can be offered in the commercial side compared to residential. Also in residential, you have the ability to have smaller codes. You don't have to meet certain requirements. There's less inspections, there's less requirements, but you do have a smaller budget that you have to stay inside of. Compared to commercial, you have many more investors that are willing to plug into your project. Your chain of management is a lot higher, offering a lot more jobs to employees who would need to be interned. You have the ability to hire interns, summer projects, laborers. It gives you the ability to hire a lot more workers that could provide more jobs. Your scope of work is bigger, meaning your budget is bigger. You have a lot bigger budget to add more finishes. You can be exactly how you want it to, and you can make it even more programmable. Even dipping more into some of the facts, when you work with residential construction, having a lower budget means that you have less room for error, and you have to stay inside a smaller scope, straight on a line, and less room for error. Working on a bigger project, you have a larger schedule, which allows you to stretch out more of your work, more of your scope, and allows you to critique mistakes, find them early. You have bigger blueprints that are sent by an architect and an engineer. Compared to residential, many of the time it just is sent by the architect straight to the owner, which is then sent to the contractor who will build it. When you get to these larger builds, there's a lot longer schedule lead that could take 5 to 10 years, whereas most residential houses, those can be made, designed, and engineered all in the span of 1 month to even a short amount of weeks. Having a larger construction commercial company means that you do have to have more employees, which means more risk. You are hiring out more labor, that you want skilled labor, you want skilled workers on your job, and it's harder to find employees who have more labor, more work, and more experience in larger scale projects compared to lower scale individuals that have only worked on residential properties. Another major difference in residential and commercial is that in residential construction, most of your material is wood, brick, and shingles, and you have the basics like basic electrical, basic plumbing, and basic HVAC. And in most houses, you do not have a fire suppression system like fire sprinklers. You only have smoke alarms. Compared to larger commercial construction, that's when you get into your buildings are made of concrete, they're made of steel structure, they have aluminum studs, they have a lot more advanced engineers that have designed the electrical systems, the plumbing systems, the HVAC. Now you have fire sprinklers you have to worry about. You have different codes, you have different inspections that you have to meet on a lot larger scale to be able to hold a building occupancy of 500 to thousands of people. Whereas in residential, if you're only holding 5 or 6 people, there's codes you don't have to meet. In commercial, there's so many health and safety codes that have to be met in order for you to be able to put this building out there to the public that you do not see in residential. Breaking down your materials, with these heavier materials or a lot more labor extensive materials, you have to have bigger equipment that you will not see in a neighborhood or residential construction. With this larger equipment, it means you need skilled operators, you need experienced operators. Those can be hard to find, whereas in residential, all you need to learn how to do is maybe drive small equipment that anyone can get trained on in the matter of minutes. Wrapping up my speech, I hope I was able to highlight the major difference between residential and commercial construction, as where one is a lot more dumbed down and you do not need as much experience, whereas on commercial you need a lot more time, you need a bigger budget, you need more investors, and you need more skilled employees. Each branch of this falls under the construction label, but I hope you can see what the difference is between these two and how they differ so much than just the construction label. Thank you so much.